There were tests conducted and it came out positive for a number of hogs that were tested in Karkar. And so for precautionary measures, we have immediately closed off the borders. I have prohibited the bringing out of live hogs, even pork. And just up to that, no? Ilan sang chicharon? Because we know that chicharon is from Karkar is actually coming from another area. But kani usang just the meat and the live hogs. We have put in already border controls, I think in 6 or 7 points where Karkar can easily be accessed. And we have already also requested the local government unit to help us in this measure to contain. You see, we cannot do this alone. We have been constantly reminding everyone to be just as vigilant. But you see, even though we could, let me say, closely monitor all other ports in the province, we have no control over the ports here in Cebu City. And we have always reminded everyone that even pork, processed meat and pork-related products could be carriers of the ASF virus. Well, we have hoped that everyone would cooperate. However, even from you media yourself, you have reported that these products freely coming from ASF infested provinces freely come into Cebu through those that come from Bacolod, those that come from other places, maybe even Manila. Perhaps the airport is even more strict. It's the airlines that are cooperating with us because they actually remind all passengers before landing. But we cannot control what is not within my jurisdiction, which is the CPA under CPA control, or even within the jurisdiction of Cebu City. We have also issued an executive order preventing the entry now of live hogs, boar semen, and pork, as well as pork-related products coming from Negros Oriental. We had earlier issued an executive order prohibiting the entry of these prohibited products coming from Negros Occidental and Region 6. However, as you very well know, that's one island, and Negros is one island, Occidental and Oriental. So there is really free crossing over between the two provinces, and we had in the past, well, until yesterday, accepted all of the hogs coming from Negros Oriental. So effective yesterday, as I signed my executive order, these hogs and even other pork and pork-related products, processed pork coming from Negros Oriental, will now also be prohibited entry into Cebu. This is a huge challenge. We were able to keep Cebu ASF free for really the longest of time. But we also saw that as we continued to stay ASF free, ASF started to spread throughout all other provinces. Started with just 2 barangays in Bulacan. And then it spread to the province and another province, and pretty soon much of Luzon was already infected with ASF. Since it could cross over, at that time I had already prohibited the entry of all of this pork coming from Luzon. But we knew that there was easy access from Luzon to the Visayas through Eastern Visayas. And even though I had issued that EO to prohibit such products from Luzon, Eastern Visayas, which initially issued the same EO, was prevailed upon to set their EO aside. And soon, Eastern Visayas also became ASF infected. Region 6, 7, and Region 6, and so I subsequently prohibited the entry of pork and pork-related products from Region 8, the entire Region 8. We knew also that from Region 8, it could go directly to Mindanao. And soon Mindanao, several provinces in Mindanao were reported to already be ASF infected. That was why we also prohibited the entry, closed off entry of these products and live hogs from Mindanao. We even went so far as to implement strict measures for corn coming from Mindanao, corn that would be used by our feed mills to be converted together with other materials into feed. But and I would like to say that the feed mills were also very, very cooperative in that aspect. Then Region 6 started to be infected, and we closed off Region 6 and Panay. But it had spread. And so, well, I guess it had all boiled down to just some lonely provinces fighting ASF, which now I think would be, as far as Region 7 is concerned, until we got these results from the samplings in Karkar, it was Cebu, Bohol, Siquijor, and we thought Negros Oriental. But our suspects actually are these pork and pork-related products being brought in by passengers by sea or by land. Not necessarily by air, because the constant reminders of the MCIAA as well as of the different airlines are always there. And if you are really a civic-minded citizen, unless tunturugok yun ka, or you can't live without longganisa from Pampanga, or I don't think they would really go the length of violating that order. But we cannot control. As I said, this is not an environment that we have total control. But now that the challenge is here, it is how we shall answer to that challenge. Whether we will be able to contain it, or will it spread to the other towns and cities of the province. And that is the reason why we are now implementing very, very strict controls. We have isolated Karkar, and we have warned all other LGUs. I know that at least in the province of Cebu, our mayors will cooperate with us. We have been working in a unified manner even during the pandemic. And this is yet another challenge that the province, our mayors, together with myself as governor, will face, but I promise you, we will prevail. The first order of the day is containment. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, Gov. Regarding sa situation si Karkar, aside from i-isolate siya, possibility of like, doon na ba may mo akaling sa mga baboy?
Yes, of course. We are now studying the behavior and all. I think by yesterday already, our provincial veterinarian's office, our provincial vet, Dr. Rose Bincoy, has deployed all of our personnel together with reports from our barangay animal health aides to check all Karkar is 15 barangays, but these are huge barangays, to check all possible areas and to first immediately contain the area where were these samples that turned out positive, to immediately contain this area so that none of the pork or whatever pork-related products will be able to go out of that particular sitio or that particular barangay.
Clarify lang ako, Gov. Ang allowed nga makagawas sa karkar ang chicharon.
For the time being, ang katong mga chicharons, those chicharon that are on stock, on stock. Because na may buto.
That's for me.
Sunog. Wala naman sa kuwan ang sunog.
There's another one.
Banawa.
Di doon na to.
Transformer, no? Transformer.
Yes. As of the time being, as of yesterday, it was imperative that I immediately issue the executive order closing off Negros Oriental, and also to issue that executive order regarding Karkar. Now, thank you for reminding me. We have not prohibited yet, no, the going out of these kaning mga chicharon. But may I remind, there is only danger in pork-related product, kaning mga processed na and cooked. There's only danger that this would infect hogs if this would be used as swill. Kana bang himuong lamaw ba? Let me speak in Cebuano, ikaw na lang tumagalig doon sa CNN. I am asking, akong gihangyo tanan, labi na atong mga backyard nga racers para ma-protect, panalipdan ninyo ang inyong mga baboy, ayaw in town na taga-iglamaw. Okay? Kaya that was where it started. ASF started when these products gikan sa kanang mga leftover food in the airlines, international flights, and apparently ang ilang mga giserve gikan sa ASF infected nga countries gikuha na nga sa dunay tiguha na gihimong lamaw dito na mo nang nagsugod na. So usbo na ko ug balik-balikon tani, ayaw tagaig lamaw ang inyong kababuyan. We have no danger with the hog farms. They know very well the precautionary measures. Unya, they are really fed kanang feeds, no? Pero ang sa mga backyard. So, do not force me now to stop providing ECD funds for backyard hog racing if this will not be followed. I will also instruct all mayors through their barangay animal health aides, and if they have vets as well, to strictly monitor sa backyard niyo nagsugod, mauna ana na magsugod mo spread. Kung unsay mga leftover food ug apil na ning mga pork related nga mga products nga coming from outside, isagol ninyo sa lamaw. Mura ra inyong gipusil inyong kaugalingong baboy. I cannot say it better than that. Mura ra inyong gihiluan inyong kaugalingong baboy. Nya, naglao maghamong mudako na para nya mga anak pag yun na mukita pa mo kwartaan na para ipa-eskwela sa inyong mga anak, para ipalit ninyo multicab or sakyanan nga magamit para negosyo. Then putrihean ninyo inyong baboy. Why lamaw? Maski pa inyong kaugalingong gikaon. Exactly kay usay abin ninyo, amo bitaw ni. Unya wata ano sa maka hinumdum pirmi nga nakakaon ba kag na leftover nimong spam or na leftover nimong chorizo, wa ka kibaw di gikan. So ayaw usa, wa gyud. We should prohibit that, and we will be stricter with that.
About about lechon sa karkar, dili sa pwede gyud.
Dili na. Undang usa tanan. total border control.
So doon ay mga police atong i-assign checkpoint ko.
Yes, and I expect Colonel Ochave to deploy accordingly to the stations that have been set up. I think there are already 6. I believe they added more as of yesterday, but they had already put up 6. These are the access points of Karkar.
Go sa Karkar, pila ka barangay ang affected ano niya?
Adili pa ni kay ang tanan. These are samples from a particular place. That is why this early, it is imperative that you are able to contain it. And also, it is imperative nga dili nato tago-taguon. Mao man nang nahitabo good before. Sityo ra to ang na-infect dito sa Bulacan. Unya ni spread kay ang attitude was okay na. Okay ra uy. In fact, ang test results wa na gipagawas. You know, if you would review the history of ASF here, the test results of those hogs nga namatay dito sa particular sitio wala na gipagawas as news nato. We had to find out from a news source coming from, was it Taiwan, foreign. You can review that. It was foreign news ang ni-report nga tested positive, ASF positive. And at that time, I immediately instituted very, very strong measures. In fact, hinumdum mo, I was criticized by you know who because I was overreacting. But I'd rather overreact than underreact because ASF, I tell you, is more dangerous even than COVID-19. Why? Because it can really cause 100% mortality. Look at the results of COVID-19 sa ilang kadaghan kaing mga gipang test. Pila man? Ang mortality is what? 2%? Or 1%? This, 100%. That's more dangerous. And while the COVID-19 virus is supposed to be transmitted, pabitang gisige mo butang anang mask, kay para di ko naman maka-expel o kadtong mga saingan ana ang virus itself kay gikan sa imong bakba o gikan sa imong ilong kani makapilit pwede ra ni mamilit sa atong mga sapot, atong mga sinina. Ang COVID-19 virus dies when it reaches the surface. Subsequent data showed nga inig abot diha wa na.
May host.
Oh. May host, correct. Inig Dale, maigid kaayo mo research. Pero kani, this can stay dormant. If that pork is not subjected to 100 degrees centigrade heat, that can stay. Or even below 0, that can still stay dormant. That was my reaction, and I was called overreacting. Well, that's the trouble of underreacting. Now, I don't know, pila na, 62 provinces or even more, and counting. And we are now, it's like ang usa ka mumo, nanganak og mumo, ng mga nagtikadaghan ang mga wakwak sa kalibutan. But we will fight, as we have always fought, all other challenges that we have faced. I repeat, it's important that we are upfront about it. We don't try to hide it. Because when we hide it, that just causes more rumors. And the rumors, manganak ug uban pa, hangtod maabot, gikan diri maabot dito sa ika-20 nga tao, hurot ng baboy sa Cebu. Ang istorya na. With so many things at the same time. But thank you again for saying that. Because by next week, I will be able now to put everything in its proper place. The most urgent thing was really to close. Sira usa tayo. That is of utmost priority. Now, ang mga collateral damage, ana, we'll see what we can do.